Alright guys, so the very last video inside our trig ratios where we can find a missing side or a missing angle is going to be the word tangent. And so the tangent ratio that you can use here is tangent is always going to be opposite over adjacent. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent. So right now, let's go ahead and say hypothetically, if I was given a right triangle, remember again, we will never use the right angle as these ratios. We're only using this on my other two angles. So let's go ahead and say I am using angle A here. I'm given angle A, so I know the measurement of angle A. So right now, let's go ahead and recognize my different sides. So right now, all the way across from A is obviously going to be my opposite side. Across from the right angle is always going to be your hypotenuse. And then the missing side that has not been named yet, of course, is going to be your adjacent side. So right now, if I wanted to do the tangent of angle A, that's going to be opposite over adjacent. So right now, here's the opposite. So that would be Z. And the adjacent, which is going to be X. And so this is the ratio that you would use to find the tangent or find the missing side or to find a missing angle measurement if you needed to use tangent here, okay? So again, we can change it up if we were looking at from angle C. So right now the hypotenuse is never going to change. So let's go ahead and look at everything from angle C. So if I was looking at from angle C here, okay? So all the way across from C here is obviously going to be your opposite side. Opposite of the right angle will always be your hypotenuse. That is never going to change. And then the third one that has not been named yet is going to be next to angle C is going to be your adjacent side. And so now if I wanted to use the tangent of angle C, I know it's going to be opposite over adjacent. So opposite is going to be X, and then adjacent is going to be Z. So if I'm looking at it from angle C, this is how I would use the tangent ratio to set it up and find missing sides. Now for the examples. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so now for your examples for your tangent ratio using your trig ratios here. So with this being said, we're going to look at example number 1. And what it says here is we want to find the measure of W whenever I have already been given an angle measurement of 54 over here. So that means we're going to analyze everything from angle 54. So let's go and look at that. So angle 54, if we look at it from here, I know this side all the way across is always going to be your opposite. So opposite of the angle is always going to be your opposite side. Opposite of your right angle is always going to be your hypotenuse, correct? And then the third side that we have not named yet is always going to be your adjacent side if you're looking at it from that angle measurement. So right now, I have angle 54. I want to find the opposite side, and I know the adjacent side. So opposite, adjacent, that matches my tangent ratio. So I am going to use tangent to help me define the angle or the side W here. So let's go look at this. So I'm going to do the tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to do the tangent of 54. So I'm looking from 54. So the tangent of 54 is going to be equal to the opposite, which is W, over the adjacent, which is 10. And so now if I wanted to solve for W, W divided by 10, the opposite of dividing by 10 obviously is multiplying by 10. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 10. So this is going to cancel over here. So I'm going to be left with W, correct? And then in your calculator, this is what you're going to type in. The tangent, and then in parentheses, it'll ask you to put in 54. And then you're just going to multiply that sucker by 10. Okay? So if I take my calculator, which is over here, and I do trig ratio, I go to tangent, I type in 54, and then I'm going to multiply that guy by 10. That is going to give me 13.76. So ladies and gentlemen, that would be the measurement of angle, or side W, not angle, but the side W by using the tangent ratio. Okay? So now over here in example number 2, it's asking me to find the measurement of angle R. So remember, if we are using trig ratios to help me to find the angle measurement, I'm going to have to use the inverse of the ratio, which I'm going to use the inverse of tangent in this example. And you'll see it inside your trig button on your calculator here. So let's go look at this. So looking at everything from angle R here, looking at everything from angle R. So from R, if I draw a line all the way across, this is obviously going to be your opposite side. Always opposite of the right angle is always going to be your hypotenuse. Okay? And then the third side that I haven't named, this is the way I do it every time, is going to be your adjacent side. So if I wanted to find angle R, look here. I have my opposite side. I have my adjacent side. So opposite adjacent, that matches the tangent ratio. So I'm going to do the tangent of angle R is going to be equal to the opposite, which is 47, over the adjacent, which is 41. And so now, if I want to find the angle, I'm missing the angle. In the calculator, I'm going to do the tangent inverse tangent. And inside the parentheses, I'm going to plug in 47 over 41. So trig ratio, inverse tangent, I'm going to do 47 over 41. And when I click enter, this should give me the measurement of angle R is going to be equal to 48.9 degrees. So ladies and gentlemen, that would be the measurement of angle R. Tangent ratio, finding a missing side, finding a missing angle.